Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay, and choo-choo.
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy, mind-bending, absolutely insane episode of Small Town Murder. And we got you covered on this one. Like we always say for Express, it is 10 pounds of murder in a 2-pound bag. And we got it all for you today because it's some wild stuff. Before we get to that, real quick, shutupandgivememurder.com. What's there, Jimmy? Let them know.
Oh, my goodness. It's bonus stuff, James.
No, that's Patreon. Shutupandgivememurder.com. They don't call him the best color man in the business for nothing, folks. For Major League, but no, we got tickets for live shows. We got there. Get over there.
Do you need a bath mat?
We got merch. We got tickets to live shows. Come on over and get them. I love it. September 20th, Minneapolis. Get your tickets for that show. This will be our biggest show ever, so get in there to that. Also, Halloween night virtual live show.
There you go.
And it's available for 2 weeks after that, too. So you can't make it on Halloween, no problem. You can watch it 10 times, 20 times, whatever. You can do it from the comfort of your living room. So get those tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com, just like a regular live show. But why go out? Stay home. Stay home. Don't bother. No, and then Patreon. That's where. See, now you got
there
it. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Jimmy, what's there?
Bonus
stuff is there. Yes, it is. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get everything. Whole back catalog, hundreds of bonus episodes you've never heard before, and new ones every other week, including this week where we have some fun stuff. You're going to get one crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get all of it under this whole thing. The umbrella covers everything. For crime and sports, we're going to talk about James Pud Galvin. Yeah. And he is the first steroid user in sports history back in 1889. So we're going to, and he also had a crazy ass life we're going to talk about, and also talk about kind of also, how steroids and stuff went from there. And then for small town murder, back into the archives for one of our favorite ones to ever do is old timey murders, old newspaper articles describing horrible and really explicit tales of violence that they used to say back in the day, and it is wild stuff. So we'll talk all about that. That's patreon.com/crimeinsports. Get in there, and you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. Yeah. So that said, I think it's time, everybody. Yeah. Let's all sit back. What do you say? Let's take deep breaths, arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
Yeah, let's
go on a trip, shall we?
Yeah. Why didn't I just say everything?
It's all there for the taking. We're going to Delaware, everybody. Yeah. Exciting, as we remember from.
It's a place.
It's if we take Wayne's World's view of it, they go, Delaware. You're in Delaware. Not much going on. So Newcastle, Delaware, this is. The beer, Newcastle, Delaware. Northern Delaware, this is. Delaware is kind of one big panhandle. So everywhere you are on it, you're in a panhandle. Wherever you are, wherever you go, you're in a panhandle. There you are, in a panhandle.
There's your panhandle.
There you go.
I had a real time with Newcastle beer, and then I had one recently, and I don't know why I did that.
So what was I thinking?
It's not good.
No, it's not.
That's a bad one.
I don't like that one either. That's
the only one I drank for a year and a half, 2 years.
Really?
And then I stopped and drank, just a normal ass blonde. And now anytime I go back to, I'm like,
what was I doing?
Who chooses this?
Why did I want this?
Was I trying to be interesting? This isn't interesting.
You're like, please, ask me about my British modeled beer, please.
Stupid.
So this is in northern Delaware. It's about 50 minutes to Philly, so under an hour to Philadelphia, so closer to there than to the D.C. area. 15 minutes to Wilmington, which was our last Delaware episode. Everything in Delaware is 20 minutes away, by the way, so it's not like it's 7 hours away or something.
Is it the second smallest state? It's got to be, right?
I don't know in terms of land mass.
Maybe Maryland?
Close. It's close.
They're all right there.
They're all in that little area. That episode was One Too Many Girlfriends, which was a good episode. Here we go. Population 5,482, not 54,000. 5,482.
Teeny tiny.
Teeny tiny. Median household income here, 83,651, so a little bit more than the national average. You're doing okay there. Median home price, $230,400, which is well below the national. Yeah. So whenever you have income above the average and housing costs below the average, maybe you get happy people. We'll find out.
Drivers.
Let's find out here. History of this town. Little bit here. They had some in the 1800s. This town kind of had its ups and downs way back even then. They were talking about, the decline in their economy and shit like that in the 1800s. So there's been some stuff going on there where it kind of goes up and down and ebbs and flows. Since 1927, Newcastle offers tours of historical homes, churches, and gardens. Now, they have a ton of historical homes because they talked about the economy got so bad at one point that nobody made improvements or built new houses. So all these old houses are still in original condition, a lot of them, and they not knocked down. Yeah, houses that would have probably been knocked down and had new ones built instead stayed there. So it's kind of interesting anyway. The householders will dress in colonial costumes, and you can come visit the houses and do all that shit. In 1961, an F3 tornado hit the north side of this town.
Really?
An F3 is a pretty good-sized tornado.
Up there?
Up there, yeah. They said no fatalities or injuries somehow. Missed everything. Yeah. It's the only tornado of that magnitude ever recorded in Delaware at the time of that scale.
Yeah.
Then in 2023, last year, an EF3, what's now enhanced Fujita scale or whatever it is. Same thing, though. It was an EF3 tornado. Same thing hit then, too, in 2023. Wow. So apparently this town is a magnet for tornadoes every 50 or 60 years or so. Now it's safe to go there. Safe now.
Just the state likes to lull you into a false sense of security and then just wipes everything.
About 2075. Get the fuck out of there, though. You're gonna want out.
Anybody get hurt?
I don't know. I don't have the stats on it, but here's some reviews of the town because we don't know shit about. I've never been to Newcastle, Delaware. Let's find out about it. Maybe it's great. Maybe these people are going to praise it from the tops of the hills here. 3 stars. Here's the first one. You know is the first sentence. It's Delaware. Those are the first 2 sentences. It's Delaware.
Well, we don't know.
We don't.
The rest of the country has no fucking clue.
They're like, Delaware's a state?
Oh, yeah.
If you polled out of 330 million, take the small children out. Let's say take the top 250 million adult or oldest people we have and ask them all, what is Delaware? What do you think? Maybe 60% will say a state, probably? Maybe?
Just say, what's a Delaware?
Yeah.
And that way it gets them thinking.
What does the word Delaware mean to you? And then have them just... Okay, not terrible, not great, but terribly boring for me as a kid. I hear adults like it here, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Kids shouldn't be reviewing things. You don't. No. You don't do anything. What are you reviewing?
I hear adult. All right. Until you find out about PTO, motherfucker.
No shit. Yeah. 2 stars. People stay to themselves because frequent police patrol. What, you're not allowed to socialize?
What is that?
Get back in your house. What the hell is that about?
2 people standing together is a conspiracy around here.
No neighbors talking on the front lawns. Back in your houses. breaking up Little League games. Let's go. Disperse. Get out of here, everybody.
You guys planning to overthrow Delaware?
What the hell? Much drugs, alcohol, and prostitution. Where the fuck did that come from? There's 5,000 people here.
How many prostitutes have you seen in your life, James? In your life?
Plenty. I lived in downtown Phoenix. I lived at 6th Avenue in Van Buren at one point. Yeah. Like, they were the neighborhood characters. It was like, oh, Half Weave is here with so-and-so. We had nicknames for them. They used to fight in the street right outside my apartment. Right. Oh, it was so much fun. I know a lot about prostitutes.
But if you live in the suburbs,
you've
maybe seen 10 in your life, and when you see them, it's a party. It's awesome.
The alley behind my apartment, every time I take my dog out past like 10 o'clock, I'd always break up, not on purpose, a prostitute blowing a homeless guy. Every single time. You'd say, oh God, they'd all scatter. So my dog would be barking. Okay, much drugs and prostitution. Police keep reports top secret, but through neighbors is heard of drug overdoses. So apparently they're keeping all the ODs top secret somehow, even though they have to be top secret. Yeah. Guys walk around asking for, quote, work, a keyword for women who are prostitutes.
No, it's not.
What? What are you talking about? Maybe they want to do some landscaping. Have you ever thought of that? This person is very paranoid, I feel like. He's mentioned 3 conspiracies already in the first 3 sentences. It's a review about Delaware. What the fuck are you talking about?
60% of his complaints are about prostitutes.
So, yeah, he's been burned by a prostitute, I feel like. Somebody took his cash and ran. Most people are bitter and are relocated from Wilmington, and then in parentheses, Murder Town, USA. No, not at all. We did an episode. No. Gunshots in Mincadale, yet overall nobody is hurt. Just much property crimes. What a fucking lunatic. Then 1 star. This is even better. What a horrible place to live. Overrun by dirt bikes and ATVs. What the hell is happening? Prostitutes on dirt bikes now? That I'll pay to watch. No, don't blow me. I just want to watch you ride dirt bikes around. That's hilarious.
I just want to watch you ride dirt bikes in a skirt that looks like a headband.
Yeah. And rude and inconsiderate neighbors. The worst mistake of my life was buying a house here. I have the worst neighbors that think throwing a party at 2 a.m. is okay. Jesus, that's not the town's fault. This is you. Police can also care less. They don't do absolutely anything to people who are clearly violating Newcastle's noise ordinance. My family does not feel safe here. What with the prostitutes and dirt bikes? I don't blame you. Very quickly, things to do because we're running long here. Things to do, the old-fashioned ice cream festival.
Okay.
There you go. Food trucks. Here, just going to give you the list of events because that happen. By the way, no dogs or pets in capital letters are allowed at this event. The event is not pet-friendly, it says. They're going to have bubbles, bumper cars, carnival games, Delaware Children's Museum, just old children from Delaware.
Just have a look-see at this child.
Let's take a peek at him. Eppy's from Delaware, all right. They turn him over, look at the tag. Yeah, there he is. There's Delaware. Garden Train, the Little Farm, the Mathnasium of North Delaware.
What?
Mathnasium. It's a math competition. Then a mechanical bull after that. So
as well.
if your brain is damaged, that's what you do. If not, go up there. That said, let's talk about some murder. What do you say?
All right.
Let's do it because this is some wild stuff. All right. We're going to come in hot here. All right.
Yeah.
February 2nd, 2005. Let's start out. Okay. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, or 2:54 a.m. to be quite exact here. John D. Anderson. That's Anderson, S-O-N, by the way. Okay. It's always a thing that freaks me out. Which Anderson are you? O-N or E-N? I don't know.
Yeah.
John D. Anderson, which sounds like a made-up name for John Q. Public.
John Q. Yeah.
You know, he's 62 years old.
Yeah.
He comes into his house. He comes home to his house at 2:54 a.m., not from a night out partying. He says he's been in California the last 2 days on business.
Good for you, Johnny.
Some sort of business. So he comes home on his nice suburban street. He opens the door to his house, trying to be quiet. It's 2:54 a.m. He's got a wife named Mary inside.
Gotta let her sleep.
Don't want to wake her up at 3 o'clock in the morning, busting through the door here. So he's trying to be quiet. He opens the door. As soon as he opens the door hits something. As he's coming in here. And he looks behind it, and it is his wife. He found his wife. Unfortunately, she is naked, and there's blood everywhere.
Wow.
She's on the floor, naked. I'm talking blood is everywhere in the house. They said spatters, pools of blood, smears on the walls. It is
ceiling. Yeah.
Ceiling, it's everywhere. It's just, it looks like a person exploded in this room.
Like a crime scene.
Like a crime scene. She's naked, and she has visible wounds, by the way, that we'll talk about. But on her body, there's not enough blood where there should be blood everywhere.
Really?
She's the cleanest thing in the room. Wow. She's the least blood-covered thing in the room, like somebody cleaned her off or something.
What is that?
Someone stripped her clothes and then must have cleaned her off. Had to, because otherwise she'd be covered more in blood than this. So obviously he freaks out. He sees there's chunks of flesh missing from her, like out of her neck. She's got stab wounds. Her eye has been stabbed. So, I mean, this is a horrible scene to walk in on. Nobody wants to see their spouse looking like this, unless they're Jodi Arias or something.
Unless they did it.
Yeah, unless they wanted them murdered. But John calls 911, obviously, as one would do at this point. Police arrive, obviously, and they walk in and go, holy shit, this is a murder scene. Now, not only is there blood everywhere, spatter, pools, smears, there's also footprints all over the house. All over the house.
Shoes.
No, shoes. We'll talk about this. Okay. We'll talk about exactly what they are. But all over the house and leading out the back door through the snow as well. Okay. There's snow all over the ground here. Her wedding ring and engagement ring, which she usually wears, have been taken off her finger. She's got nothing. She's not wearing her rings like she always does. And her purse is upside down and empty. Everything's been taken from her purse. And the house has been pretty ransacked, except the living room is pretty bad, but the master bedroom is ridiculous. Like,
just pulled apart.
A detective said, I've been to hundreds and hundreds of robberies, and I'd never seen ransacking like this. It looked like
looking for something specific.
It looked like, like in a movie where like a spy is looking for a piece of microfilm. And it's tiny and he's got to tear everything apart. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it might be in a hollowed out leg on the bed.
Yeah, or when the Always Sunny people were in an escape room and trying to find clues. Like, that's what it looks like. So they were like, wow, bedroom just completely torn apart. And I've seen pictures, even to the point where like their chair, like a comfy cozy chair is upside down, like even to that level.
Like a lazy boy kind of chair?
Yeah, but like a smaller one, like one of those. Yeah. It's upside down. Like everything is completely torn apart. Everything's everywhere. Now, the footprints they find are a man's work boot footprint. Mm-hmm. A clear pattern of a man's work boot all over the house, bloody everywhere, tracks in the snow outside. It's a size 11 work boot.
Yeah.
A size 11 men's work boot. So they're thinking this is probably a guy that's involved here.
Yeah. Good assumption.
Good assumption. Now, they also see out the back door through the snow, they see that all the houses on their side of the street back up to a cornfield.
Oh.
So they're like, they don't know if this.
Out back.
No, did this person go through the cornfield? They're gone. Or did they emerge from the cornfield? What happened, basically?
Right. Yeah.
They don't know. So they're trying to figure it out. Now, they do the injuries here that we'll talk about on John's wife, and we'll talk all about her in a moment here. She died of massive external bleeding caused by sharp force injuries, and that is her throat is slashed, and she has been stabbed just innumerable times. Just as much energy as you have and the stabbing, a lot of it is concentrated on the face.
Yeah.
Which is normally
destruction or personal
robbery and home invasion.
Rarely do they get destroyed for it.
Because it's get this person out of the way quickly to get what I want. Whereas to stab somebody in the face like that, you got to have a lot of plus the energy. You have to have rage to be able to have the energy to do that even. So her throat is cut. She's been slashed, stabbed all over. We'll talk more specifically about the wounds in a second. It looks like, from the way the crime scene's set up, it looks like the confrontation started in the kitchen. Looks like because there's some shit amiss in the kitchen. And it looks like his wife, Mary, tried to possibly run away toward the front door. Because
she's at the front door.
Well, no, she's at the front door, but she was dragged to the front. That's the other thing that's weird. It looks like the throat slash, because there's one cut across the throat, like somebody cutting a throat, and then they went back to it and did more.
Really?
But the original throat slash appears to be, not appears to be, the medical examiner decides that it was done from behind. So nobody did it from the front looking at her. Yeah. Somebody chased her, and the way it's torn and looks like she was pulling away, and this person was chasing her from behind.
Leverage from behind. Sure.
Leverage from behind. And she has 9 total wounds to her head, which are her eye is stabbed. Face is stabbed. As the detective put it, a very large piece of flesh taken out of the side of her neck. So that person's stabbed again and again over there. Yeah. Also, a big piece of flesh taken off the arm as well. So really, somebody really just attacking. And it didn't look like they cut it out. It looked like somebody was just stabbing, and they stabbed enough to
pulled a chunk. Yeah.
Got a chunk out, and tons of stab wounds to the torso as well, upper torso. She's been put through the ringer here. It's overkill, obviously. Right. And she's naked, and they can't find her clothes either. Her clothes are missing. There's no clothes with stab wounds in them.
Taken away
from the scene. They're not in the house.
Wow.
The clothes they think she would have been wearing. So first they're thinking naked lady, probably an attempted sexual assault, possibly.
Seems to be,
that the person might have got angry and attacked her, and then decided to make it look like a robbery and toss the room, possibly. Okay. And while you're there, might as well empty the purse and steal the rings, easily negotiated things. So, but the detectives are a little bit, once they're there for a couple hours, they start to become a little suspicious of the scene here. Yeah. One detective said, when we first got on the scene, we thought for sure it was a burglary home invasion gone bad. But they said they determined that the crime scene was tampered with, they said, the way they put it. They said it was made to look like a break-in that could have been committed by a serial burglar who has been targeting senior citizens in the area.
Oh.
So there's been a serial burglar, and they say this looks like it's trying to make it look like that's what it was, this same person, same kind of MO. Right. But they found no signs of forced entry, and the evidence was not consistent with that particular burglar's methods. And this was a burglar who's a serial burglar who's done it hundreds of times in this area, dozens of times, so they know exactly what this guy does, and this ain't it. So unless he's taken a drastic turn in how he operates, it's probably not there. One cop said these were all things set up to throw the investigators off. So that's what they're looking at. They said they believe that the killing was one of hatred and jealousy because of the stab wounds, especially to the face.
Yeah.
When a woman gets stabbed a lot in the face, there's something to that. It's like getting stabbed when it went to the vagina. Yeah. It's the same thing. Right. Crotch and face are the two areas that people take their anger out on. So from the cuts on her face, they hypothesized that the killer knew her and that it was a personal attack. So they said also the lack of blood on the body points to someone removing her clothes and cleaning her up, one detective said. So this is a very weird sight.
Indeed. Yeah.
You very rarely see a body, not only that the clothes of the victim taken, but their body being cleaned up of blood. That's what Ted Bundy did that. You know what I mean? He put makeup on them or washed their hair or did whatever the fuck. But this is very abnormal behavior here. So, and they also said it takes an incredible amount of emotion to stab someone the way Mary was savaged. Yeah. Now, did the neighbors see her hear anything? It's a quiet neighborhood. Let's find out. One guy here said, the guy who lives 2 doors away, Ken Fitzsimmons, said he was awoken at 3:20 a.m. by a cop knocking on his door. Wow. He said, my daughter got spooked because officers were in the backyard searching with flashlights.
Slipped right through it.
Yeah, you see that at 3:20 a.m. You're like, oh, God, you're probably ready to call 911, and then they're knocking on the door.
They're already here.
So at that point, nobody really knew what happened, but everybody was waking up at 3 a.m. to the whole neighborhood being swarmed with police cars and lights. And you can imagine the scene here. The neighbors said that, they knew her. They knew Mary. She was big into church, real big into church, the Christiana United Methodist Church, and held church meetings at her home, so people come over sometimes. They said that she very friendly lady, big smile. They didn't understand why anybody would want to kill her. Basically, who wants to kill a 61-year-old church lady? Like, that makes no sense. And when you find out like what she does for a living too, you're like, okay, there's no red flags, no danger marks, nothing here. That one neighbor said, Fitzsimmons said, it's scary to think there's someone out there like that who could come into your house. Yeah. So Fitzsimmons said that woman didn't do a bad thing to anyone. She took care of special education children. She was kind to all the children in the neighborhood. She took the kids in and gave them hot chocolate and cookies. She was such a good person. That's what's sad. She's the nice lady in the neighborhood who gives out hot chocolate to the kids.
Hot chocolate.
She's a nurse for severely handicapped children at a school. That's what she does.
Wow.
For years. She's a saint, this lady. It's Saint Mary over here.
Absolutely amazing woman.
Her next door neighbor, Jean, said that she and Jean, meaning, and her husband returned about 11:45 p.m. and didn't notice anything unusual in the neighborhood. And they said, we left our 17-year-old daughter in charge of babysitting. It could have been our back door. So, that's next door.
Yeah, right.
So who knows? So they said they thought it was unusual, too, that their family Rottweiler named Prancer didn't bark all that night until police entered the neighborhood. So they said the dog is known to bark whenever anybody passes by.
Okay.
So, the dog wasn't barking. There was nothing going on over there of any, that would have got attention.
He barks at everything.
Barks at everything. Fitz with dog sounds like a nightmare, by the way.
Yeah,
that's shut up. Please.
Yes.
I'll give you a treat. I'll give you anything. Just shut up. Fitzsimmons said he was outside about 10:30 p.m., the other neighbor, checking on another neighbor's dog and didn't see anything amiss either. Okay. So nothing then, nothing at 11:45. Neighborhood was quiet. A police dog tracked a lead from the victim's house to the street, and then that was it. It lost the scent. Like they must have gotten a car. Police cadets combed the neighborhood all day long, looking through the cornfields and everything, searching for a weapon, dropped or stolen property, something that might have some DNA, a fingerprint that could link anybody here. One neighbor's actually helpful. Says more than I saw nothing. One neighbor recalls seeing Mary unloading her groceries from her car at about 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So that's all we know. She was definitely alive at 5 p.m.
Grocery running. Yeah.
Getting groceries, and sometime between 5 and 2:54 a.m. She was murdered. So who is this murdered woman? Her name is Mary Margaret Nash. That's her maiden name, and then she gets married later and will be Anderson when she marries John Anderson. She's born in 1943 to parents named Samuel and Margaret. Everybody in this family's got a Margaret in their name somewhere, by the way. She's got a brother, Sam. She's born in Washington, D.C., grew up in Arlington, Virginia, and she graduated from Wakefield High School in 1961, received a B.S. in nursing from the Medical College of Richmond in Virginia in 1965. And after 2 years of school nursing in Richmond, Virginia, she moved to Springfield, Illinois with her first husband. So she's been back and forth a little bit in this country. While in Springfield, they had a daughter and a son, and she'll work in a nursing home. And she spends 8 years as a public health nurse. And she has a son and a daughter, James and Margaret. There's another Margaret. Yeah. She'll get a divorce somewhere in here from her first husband. Not sure exactly when. But her hobbies, by the way, very into square dancing and reading and craft fairs. So
she's a very interesting lady.
Obviously a wild style life where you'd go, yeah, man, she's been burning the candle at both ends. What do you expect? Helping severely handicapped kids. She's crafting. What the fuck do you want? This is a dangerous life, man.
Do-si-doing lady. She's a real problem.
When you're out on the street like that, that's what happens. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
I mean, she's
spin her partner round and round.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So as they're looking into her, they're like, I can't find anything that would make her, put herself in any kind of danger. She doesn't do drugs or anything like that. There's no.
She's doing she's doing the most the least nurse worthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The lowest rung of nursing. She's so sweet to do that.
Doing it on purpose.
Clearly do it anywhere else.
Yeah, no, she cares about these kids and wants to help them. Yeah. That's all there is to it. That's the type of person she is. You know what she's a collector. Do you know what of?
Oh, boy. Backgammon pieces.
Manger scenes. See what I mean? This lady's just
so
I do square dancing and I collect manger scenes. Now, let me help your wheelchair child walk again.
I got 37 baby Jesuses.
Yeah. So 37. I'm looking for a 38th, though. There's one I got my eye on. Yeah. Now, 1991 is when Mary gets remarried. Okay. She gets remarried and she marries John D. Anderson, the man who came home and found her.
Jack.
He has 3 kids as well. 3 kids, Blake, Travis, and Heidi. That's her stepkids. And by the way, treats them wonderfully, too. Even a nice stepmom.
Why the fuck wouldn't she?
Wow. Yeah. When she married him, she moved to Delaware and began working as a school nurse at the John G. Lynch School for Kids with Special Problems and Needs. It's a long title. I don't like the word problem. Probably shouldn't be in it. Sounds like they're just a little bit fucking messed up in the head or something, but that's not what they were talking
sound
about.
Like little assholes.
Yeah, just this one's a little jerk. It's got some problems, it's a little ADD. She loved working there, and she really did. She worked there for 15 years there. Wow. It's wild. The school has about 100 students and caters to severely handicapped students. Right. So this is like, you got to have a big heart and a lot to do this.
They got problems. They don't have needs.
Yeah, they got a lot of problems.
That's a different child.
She also found time to be a lay leader with the church, and she enjoyed helping with the missions and all that kind of thing, and very active in church. They both are, John and Mary, both very active in church. They seem to be, from what everyone can see, the absolute ideal perfect couple.
Terrific people.
So obviously John is immediately a suspect.
Oh, for sure.
He comes in. There's nobody else on earth with any motivation to do this. Yeah. Robbery isn't a thing. She wasn't sexually assaulted, by the way. They thought maybe she was, but she wasn't. So they're like, this looks like a big setup to get a woman dead. So he's a big suspect. And, they're like, she doesn't have any enemies. It could only be a husband. So in the brutality of the murder, too, it has to be personal. And nobody hates her. So there's nobody that's personal enough. So John is the person of interest. He says that before he came home and found her, he called her about 20 times where she didn't answer because he was so concerned because she wasn't picking up the phone.
It's not normal.
It's not normal for her. She picks up the phone, so they have a routine. John said he was so concerned he called a friend of theirs to see if maybe she knew anything about it. A friend named Jing, J-I-N-G, Jing P. Weidow, W-E-I-D-O-W. Jing is much younger than them, about half their age. She's about 30 at this point. Yeah. She is from China and came here when she was about 15. Okay. And she has no family in America except for a husband named Victor and John and Mary Anderson, who have kind of taken her in, as we'll talk about here. Now, the police said when the husband couldn't get a hold of his wife, he was reaching out to Jing and asked her if she had talked to his wife, because they talked all the time. So they go to Jing's at about 5 a.m. to say, hey, number one, Mary's dead. So and sad, do you know anybody who you and your husband and her husband are the only two people that are really hang out with her all the time. So do you know anything? Now, she said, yes, I know that I was there. I came over last night to talk to her, and we had dinner together, and then she said she was going to take a shower, so I left after dinner. Okay. And then she said Mary called her back around 11 p.m. to say goodnight, and they talked for a couple minutes. And she said, but Mary said she had to hang up because she said she heard noises out back and wanted to go look at it and wanted to see what it was. So
the last time she was seen was 5. Now we've got Jing seeing her all night and then talking to her right up until she 11. Heard a noise.
She heard a noise, and she said she hung up to go investigate the noise, and then she never heard back from Mary.
See you tomorrow.
And assumed it was an animal, and Mary went to sleep. She said, I don't know. Yeah. And this is 5 a.m. too. You wake anybody up at 5 a.m. They're like, I don't know. What the hell do I know? So they look and they see that her cell phone made a call at 11 p.m. to Jing. So that happened. So they go, okay, that narrows the time frame down at that point. Yeah. She's alive at 11, and at 2:54 she's not. So now we're into a 4-hour window.
11, she heard a noise.
That's the other thing. So somewhere between 11 p.m. and 2:54 a.m. is the time they're thinking. Now, they end up figuring out that they noticed that Victor, her husband, Jing's husband, has a size 11 foot.
Uh-oh.
And so that he's an auto mechanic that wears work boots, by the way.
Hell yeah, he does. Yeah.
So they said, you wear size 11s and you have work boots. You have multiple pairs of work boots. Yeah. Where the fuck were you this night? Yeah. And he said he was home working on his computer for the whole evening, and investigators were able to forensically determine that he was telling the truth. He wasn't out all night. He was home all night working on the computer.
Clicks happening. Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, that's not good. Shit, we thought we had something and we didn't.
Right.
Now, the detectives when they're talking to Jing, because they talk to John and Jing a lot because they're the two people that know her the best. They noted, all the detectives said, do you notice that Jing is, quote, very passionate about John, Mary's husband? Yeah, quote, very passionate. She had appeared very, very much infatuated with this man, one of the detectives said. She spoke of him in glowing terms.
Oh.
So, police are asking questions, and neighbors said that Jing frequently visits their home and was close friends with Mary. They were really tight together, and they said they all thought that the Andersons thought of Jing as an adopted daughter.
Oh.
They said she was the only person coming and going at that house all the time. She came and got their mail when they were away, took care of their pets. She was there quite a bit. I always thought of her as a friend of Mary's. Mm-hmm. Now, Jing's neighbors said Jing and her husband lived next door for about 3 years, and one said, I never see them coming or going. I never see them go.
They must always stay.
He's an auto mechanic, and she comes over here all the time, so they must go. These people aren't paying attention.
We miss it a lot.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, the detectives, through their work, become aware that John has probably been having a bit of a romantic relationship with Jing.
Oh, is that right?
They deduce this, yeah. They figure out they say, how the hell did you end up with a 30-year-old Chinese national as your adopted daughter? Like it's just not.
What's going on?
You didn't meet her when she was a child. Like, I don't get it.
Is this a church thing?
Well, she was it turns out later it is. He was a college math professor.
Oh.
And she was a student of his in about 1996.
Okay.
And she was one of his best students, he said, as well. And then she ended up joining the church and befriending Mary as well. And that's how they ended up being friends. He said that she was one of the best math students I ever had. And when they finished their 2 classes together, pre-calculus and calculus,
wow.
Stereotype much, guys? Come on.
No kidding.
Anderson, she had him sign a copy of her textbook for her.
Well, she wanted his autograph.
Yeah, because he was like a rock star.
He's that good at this.
Teaching calculus, which all math teachers would love it if people were this interested in what they do.
Really into it.
Wow, man. That's incredible.
I don't even want to buy one of those fucking calculators. I want nothing to do with
shit. No, he's fucking autographing things. So she looked up to him, and then later, around 2001, is when she went to him because she knew he went to church, and she went to him for advice on a minister because she was getting married. And that's when she ended up joining their church and becoming part of all of that, and that's when they all got close. The Andersons get very close to Jing, and she would come over all the time. They would go out to dinner. Sometimes it was with her husband, too, in a couple's setting. But a lot of times it was just Jing hanging out at their house, eating meals together. The ladies would go shopping together, and they would play games and just hang, like she was their kid. They'd play like Uno and dominoes and shit in the living room. Like that's what they did, just hanging. And the relationship became so close that Mary actually told Jing that she thinks of her as a daughter, and that and if she wanted to, she was perfectly welcome to think of them as her Delaware parents. We know you have a family and parents, but when you're here, we're happy to be your Delaware parents.
Okay. Call us when you got a bad battery or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you need. Yeah. So Mary, obviously, Jing was allowed to spend a lot of time there with both her and John and playing board games and eating dinner. She began to call them mom and dad on a regular. Really? That was it wasn't ever John and Mary. It was mom and dad. Hey, is dad there? Where's mom? That's how they were, mom and dad. But the problem is that she wanted a little more out of dad, I feel like, and dad might have wanted a little more out of her than Mary had bargained for. He says John ends up telling the police that this whole thing got a little out of control when one night he took her on a shopping trip because she needed to get something, and she kissed him goodnight after a shopping trip. And not a dad kiss on the cheek either.
Oh, boy.
There's tongue involved, yeah.
Jesus.
So the two had later talked on the phone, and went back and forth. And then in June of 2004 is the first time they met at an I-95 rest stop and had sex in the car. And this weird backseat humping affair would go on for 8 months, all the way up to now, from June of 2004 through Mary's death. This is going on.
I-95 is their joint.
That's their joint. And the detectives described it as like they acted like they were teenagers. They would meet at like make out points to fuck in the car. He's 62 years old.
Yeah, but you got to understand, James, mathletes get horny too.
Oh, yeah. And a woman half his age wants to bang him. I don't think a math teacher can calculate that in his head of like, this is, wow. He thought about it. He's like, half the age divided by the odds of this ever happening again means I got to fuck this broad. I think he did a calculus equation and figured it out.
He probably also realized that he needs medication to fuck his wife, whereas this just, for whatever reason, this thing's just rock hard.
No
It's amazing.
He had to do a giant Goodwill Hunting math problem on a whiteboard with all sorts of like arrows going here, and I don't know any of that math shit.
And the end is just stick figures fucking.
Yeah, it's like here and inside of a car.
Yeah.
So they tell John, hey, John, we know about this. And John readily admits it. He goes, okay, yeah, you're right. You got me on that one. I have been having an affair. Didn't kill my wife, but I've been having an affair. He said that the affair was, hot and heavy and everything, John said, but he became uncomfortable with her calling him dad after that, he said. Because this, for a couple years, she's been calling him dad, and now it's weird, and he thought it was really kind of weird, and there's private emails where she refers to him as her, quote, everybody, I hope your lunch, you've had like a lot of bread to soak up, whatever here. Her sexy blue-eyed dad.
Oh, Jesus.
Sexy blue-eyed dad. He's like, I mean, I still got hard and everything, but it wasn't the same.
Every time she wrote dad, I just put my hand over that part and read the rest.
Yeah, sexy blue-eyed guy. There we go. That works. So
me and James Dean.
He said that they've been having an affair, and he thought it was because Jing had been having marital difficulties while this was going on, and was telling him she was contemplating a divorce. But she wants John. That's why. That's the problem. Wow. So by the fall of 2004, the affair's been going on for months now. Mm-hmm. Mary started to complain that John was spending too much time with Jing alone.
Does she know? She doesn't know.
No, it doesn't know, but she's got to suspect something.
Yeah.
But maybe not, because mom and dad and all that shit.
Yeah. And in her head, she's probably like, that's crazy.
But also,
that would never happen.
Why? Yeah. So one of the detectives said Mary Anderson was an intelligent woman and also an intuitive woman. As most women know, you kind of get the sense when there's something not right and somebody may be cheating.
Right.
Yeah, and then, one of the signs would be he's spending all of his time with a woman half his age. That would be a really good clue as to that. You don't really need a lot of intuition to get that, I feel like.
Sometimes, probably most times, it's mostly the guy who's into it, and then the girl's, like, not interested, but he's just likes hanging around her. I'm sure that happens all the time. Until they start fucking. Then it's weird.
Then it's super weird. So... He said that he started to back away from the affair with Jing because Mary was saying, hey, you're spending too much time, and he didn't want to get caught, basically.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, we had our fun. Let's back off of this.
Yeah.
But he said that at times she seemed to be stalking him.
She loves it.
Now, the police are saying they don't know how true this is because it'd be very easy for him to try to push this blame over to her and be like, oh, maybe must have been her. She was real obsessed with me. When it's also likely that a 60-year-old man might be obsessed with her and might want to end up being with her rather than his wife. So, but then on the day of the killing, he was out of town, obviously. And so they were like, well, he couldn't have physically been there to do it because we know where he was. We have his cell phone shit. He was in another state, for Christ's sake. He was traveling across the country. So they... when they talk to Jing now, they really want to have her have a little sit-down chat.
Oh, boy.
One of the cops said he erroneously thought that permanent residency, which is her immigration status, meant that she was a U.S. citizen. He thought that. No. It doesn't. It's a different thing. And so he said, I made an assumption and that was incorrect. So that's going to have some possible legal, shit later on. Now, when they interview her, she's not under arrest, obviously. She's free to go at any time, and she volunteered to take a polygraph. They said, will you take a polygraph? We'll clear you right now.
Sure.
No problem. Absolutely. So Detective Joseph Block administers this test, and prior to the exam, they gave her Miranda rights, and she waived them and everything like that. She signed the papers, and the cop said she was very cooperative, very calm. The exam said, you're fucking lying.
Uh-oh.
They said, you're being deceptive, and she claimed, this is great coming from, because she has an accent, and so it just makes it better. Your stupid test doesn't work, is what she said.
Do it again.
Do it again. I'm Asian. I know technology. This thing's broken. Trust me.
I know algorithms and numbers.
You could probably play that, and a white guy'd be like, well, she probably does know shit. I don't know. Some guy from Delaware. I don't know. So
some guy that operates these things.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. She might know better than me.
She might have built this fucking thing for all I know. So now, after the exam, where she said your stupid machine doesn't work, Jing said that she wanted to speak with Detective Teresa Williams.
Okay.
During this interview, Jing asked to speak to John. I'd like to speak to John Anderson.
Really?
So they're like, we could bring him here and put him in the room with you. And she said, yeah, that'd be great. So they're like, awesome. Let's do that, because this will be just a little fishbowl to watch them in. Great.
This thing's mic'd up as fuck.
So they run and go pick his ass up and bring him down.
Yeah.
So we got some shit for you.
It's going to be like an NFL sideline.
Yeah,
mic'd up.
Let's
Let's
be
go.
awesome.
Talk.
Yeah. Let's find out. So now the detective said that he didn't give him any instructions, didn't give John any instructions on what to say. He says that he didn't script John Anderson or give him pointers on how to question Jing, and just told Anderson to act normally. So go in there, act normally.
Let her talk.
Said, quote, be yourself. It's okay to tell her that you love her, he said. Which doesn't...
Don't fuck her, but
do everything short of fingering her, yeah. No more than one knuckle, all right? If we can get to that rule, then I think we can make this work. At one point during the conversation between John and Jing, the cop then pulled Anderson out of the room. He said, I didn't instruct him at all, but he does, because he pulls him out of the room in the middle of it and tells him to move on from a topic involving cell phones because he thought they were belaboring the issue.
Stop talking so much about that.
I'm not a detective and I don't work for you. If you'd like to go in and do your job, you can go do it. But while I'm doing it for you, you can shut the fuck up and let me get there how I get there. That's what I would have said, right?
Yeah, this what you're telling me to do is going to make her go, did they tell you to ask that?
Yeah, especially you pulled me out and said some shit. So the detective said, though, that John was never told to go in any one direction. Just go toward the direction where she says she did bad shit.
That direction.
Over in that area, generally.
Yeah.
So they said they thought that Jing might have been on the verge of a confession, and she admitted to John that she saw Mary Anderson's body at one point, which is not good. So then they once she says, I saw the body in the house, then they pull John out and put a detective in there because otherwise it's going to be, he's an agent of police, but not a police officer. So there's a Miranda issue there and all sorts of other issues.
She just admitted to being on scene with a dead body. Let's get him out of there and let's talk about it.
Fuck yeah. So they said when John was brought in to talk with her, he was telling her he needed to know what happened to Mary to heal his heart. That's what he was saying. I got to heal my heart. I love my wife. And they said he became very emotional with Jing. And that's what caused her to kind of crack a little bit. So they pull him out, put the other cop in, and then finally she breaks down and says, fine, I did it.
What?
Me. Jing did it. And they said, what the fuck did you do? And she told him everything.
Stabbed the motherfuck out of her.
Yeah, this is wild shit, dude. She said she went over to the house about 6:50 p.m. to discuss her relationship with John.
She was going to blow it all up.
Yep. She went over to go, he's mine. I'm taking him. Basically.
Get out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. So Jing went to the residence to confront her and reveal the affair. And this was go time, ground zero. And this guy was in transit from another state.
Yeah.
So she said they got into a heated argument, as would be expected when you say, hey, Mom, I'm fucking Dad. And I'd like to take him away from you. So that's interesting. And they said, Jing said Mary talked to her about staying away from John. She said, you stay away from John. He's my husband. And the cop said Jing saw it as any chance she had at happiness with John is now over. She saw it because Mary didn't say, oh, you can have him. Mary said, he's mine and I'm going to fight for him.
How did she think this was going to go?
So this all happened in the kitchen. Yeah. Mary tried to walk out of the kitchen as it escalated. Right. That's when Jing grabbed a knife off the counter, walked up behind her, and cut her throat. Got her carotid artery, too, as she was trying to run away. So that's why. She then staged the crime scene, she said, dragged Mary's body into the foyer and removed her clothes and cleaned off the blood off her body. Don't know why she did that. That makes no sense, but
that's wild.
She removed her clothes she said she wanted to make it appear to be a sexual assault. That's why she took her clothes off and took them.
She hasn't heard of semen.
She never heard of that, or that they can tell if something's been in there. So never heard any of that. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going, look good out there, and you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable, and you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah. They're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, it's great. Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options.
Nice.
It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Experience furniture shopping the way it's meant to be at Mathis Home, your ultimate furniture superstore. From sofas to dining sets, from modern to classic styles, they have everything you're searching for. With over 230,000 items to choose from, you're sure to find exactly what you're looking for at a price you'll love. Plus, everything is in stock and ready for fast, free delivery right to your door. So you don't have to wait. And if you're looking to really transform your space, take advantage of our complimentary interior design services. Our expert designers are ready to help with any project, whether big or small. And right now, check out the Lazy Boy BOGO event at Mathis Home, happening now through March 1st, 2025. Buy one Lazy Boy recliner and get another one absolutely free. Don't miss this limited time offer. Only at Mathis Home, your ultimate furniture superstore.
She also took the wedding ring and the engagement ring to make it look like a robbery. So why not? Someone's there. She then ransacked the house and did all of that shit. So you're going, but where did size 11 work boots come in?
Yeah.
this is fucking crazy. Well, okay, this gets crazy. She then drove home, got her husband's work boots, came back to the scene.
Oh, boy.
Put the work boots on, stepped in the pools of blood on purpose, and tracked blood all over the house on purpose to make it look like a man who wore a size 11 work boot did this.
Golly.
That's fucking diabolical and terrifying. Terrifying. She later on disposed of the boots and her bloody clothes in a trash bin in Claymont. Okay. She then, and this is fucked up here, she then used Mary's cell phone, picked it up, and called her cell phone on it, left it going for about a minute and a half so it looked like they had a conversation, and then hung it up. So it looked like Mary was alive at 11 and called Jing. It's fucking diabolical, man. That's an effort to create an alibi. I was home talking on the phone with her. How could I have killed her? Then she got the bloody clothing, wrapped the clothes around the murder weapon, stuffed it into a bag, which she took to the, what is this? The Chesed Shelemeth Cemetery on Falk Road, and set it all on fire. All of Mary's clothes and everything that will burn, basically. The detectives, after hearing that, went out to the cemetery and found charred remnants of what she fucking did there. She went to a cemetery to burn it, which has to be symbolic in her mind, right? Yeah. Why wouldn't you just go in the woods? She went to specifically a cemetery. There has to be guilt,
place
maybe.
Where fire is weird. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Yeah, if you see fire in a cemetery, you go, what the hell's going on in there?
Yeah. What's
Jesus
being covered
Christ.
up over there?
What the fuck? So then she said she threw the knife that she used to kill Mary out the window of her car as she drove on the I-95 later.
God.
That is fucking wild.
And she almost got away with it, James.
Dude, it's wild. No, not really. Within 2 days, they were like, it's her. She fucked up. She fucked up on... They were real suspicious. Well, once they found out about the affair, because they're going to look at John's cell phone records, because he's the suspect. And that's how they found out. They're like, well, he sure talks to this lady a lot. And then texts come up and all that kind of thing. And then they get into the emails.
My Asian daughter.
Yeah, you know her. Yeah, how that goes. Oh, boy. So they're real, this is a fucking mess, man. John, if you're John, you better feel horrible about this.
Boy,
like horrible.
Especially as a religious man.
Yeah. And the police said that he was, in all fairness to John, they said he was fucking horrified at hearing this. He had no part in this, didn't know it was going to happen. Jing said too, he didn't know anything about it. He said he didn't know anything about it. Yeah, this wasn't a plan. Jing was just going to, in her mind, break in, kill the wife, make it look like some serial rapist burglar, killed his wife, and then, oh my God, he's sad. And now she's going to come over and comfort him. And next thing you know, sexy blue-eyed dad is all mine. And that's that.
Oh, boy.
So, that's...
Can you imagine?
That's her fucking plan. I mean, imagine coming... First of all, who comes up with that plan, number one? That's a wild plan to come up with. Then number two, to actually execute it.
Right.
Do you think if you came up with that plan, you go, Jesus Christ, that'd be in a perfect world, but that's a lot of shit to do.
Right.
She was like, let me get my husband's work boots and get this working.
These fucking caterpillars on, I'm getting to work.
And then the other thing, was she going over there? I don't think she went over there with the intent to kill Mary.
No, she went over. She really thought she was going to just talk it out, and Mary's going to be like, well, I'll move out then.
Yeah, I think she thought she was going to punk Mary out, and Mary was going to be like, well, if he wants to fuck you, I guess that's what we're doing. Yeah, I really believe that, because she didn't bring a weapon with her.
Right.
She didn't do any of that shit, so that's all,
And older women are traded in for the newer model as a trope all the time.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's always the trope. Yeah, especially 60 and 30, you know what I mean?
Oh, that's an easy trade.
30?
Yeah.
30 years? Bro, you are pushing it. First of all, listen, I don't care how good of a math teacher you are.
Yeah, that guy knows the Pythagorean theorem, that's for sure.
Unless you've sold tens of millions of albums, you are really pushing your fucking luck trying to bang someone half your age.
How many Oscars you got, Jack?
Yeah, let's calm down here, Chief. Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
What do you think, you're Mick Jagger over here? No. You're not, bro. So John flew a little too close to the sun here, but the murder's not. He didn't want the murder to happen here. So she's going to be charged with first-degree murder, possessing a deadly weapon during a felony, tampering with evidence, and theft. It's everything.
Oh, yeah, because of the ring. Yeah, sure.
So during court here, before trial, her attorney, Nicole Walker, wants the entire confession thrown out.
Of course she does.
Yep, because they said that she invoked her right to attorney and her right to remain silent, but was ignored by the police before she told the officers what happened. Now, they said that she also said she was denied her right to consult with her embassy, which is an international thing.
Okay.
Now, and that's why it's important that detective said, I thought she was a U.S. citizen. I didn't know she was a permanent resident. I thought that was the same thing, and it's not. So that's a little mistake that they made there legally. Her attorneys have also asked the judge to throw out every statement here, basically. They said that her constitutional protections against self-incrimination and her right to contact the Chinese consulate were both stripped from her. They said that the police detective who administered a polygraph said that they polygraphed her. They're saying it's voluntary, and her side saying, no, they forced her into it. They said many questions center on whether Jing was pressured into answering and whether police used John Anderson as a proxy interrogator after she quit answering questions. Because basically she stopped answering questions. Then they brought John in, and that opened up the pipes there, and all the water started flowing. So you can't use a other agent that's like an agent of the state. If you're in like a police station, it would be different if it was a warrant and a wiretap and all that kind of thing. But otherwise, it doesn't work like that. So
yeah, you can't call for your lawyer and then be like, "I'm sending your dad in here," and then you can tell your dad everything.
Sending your math dad in here. Sexy blue-eyed calculus daddy's coming in here. I didn't think that's going to happen.
Did Chris Watts call for a Watt? Whatever. I don't know if it's
Watts.
What is it? Plural? Is it plural? It is plural, right?
Yeah.
Oh, JJ Watt is singular. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't think he asked for his lawyer,
guys.
and then they sent his dad.
Yeah, I'd be like, "What the fuck, bro?" Yeah. So the trial comes around, and right before the trial starts, surprise, she decides she wants to plea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said, I'm going to throw in a plea deal here. Yeah.
Okay.
She decided to take responsibility for her actions, is what her lawyer said.
That's
which
nice.
She thought, fuck, I'm never going to get out of jail ever if I don't plea.
Yeah.
Her lawyer, though, said she didn't want to put anybody through more pain, particularly Mary Anderson's family. So she's just really fucking wow, she's just a really nice person. She
doesn't care about Mary, just her family.
No, that's it. Yeah, she just wants everybody to be happy here. So she pleads guilty to a reduced charge of murder in the second degree and the related offenses. Originally charged with the first degree murder. First degree carries a life sentence, while second degree carries 15 to life as the range.
Yeah.
So a little easier.
It should have been second anyway, right? Because she didn't. It's not premeditated. It's certainly done to cause her death, but I guess premeditated can be done in the blink of an eye too.
And it's the cover-up and the robbery that aggravates it.
Shit.
That's all that. Yeah. So as she was let out of the courtroom, she turned and smiled at her husband and his parents who were in the back of the courtroom.
What?
Bitch! No, I want no part of you. You fucked math daddy for fucking 8 months, then killed somebody and used my work boots to try to make it look like cops talked to me. They thought I did it.
You were going to leave me, obviously.
Fuck out of here. I will send you back to China on a rubber ducky raft. Fuck you. Are you joking?
And so he's not an Asian guy, huh?
No, his name's Victor Wydow.
Right.
He's German. Yeah, he's a German mechanic from fucking Delaware.
Specializes in Saabs, BMWs, and Porsche and Volkswagens.
So sentencing comes around. She is sentenced to, you, ma'am, may fuck off 30 years of prison, followed by the usual descending levels of supervision, meaning you'll go to a halfway house for a year, you'll go to parole, then you'll be on probation, and you go all the way there. Now, in 2006, she wants a sentence reduction the next year.
Really?
Yes, she said that the court doesn't rule on this motion, though, and they let her float for years. Her basic thing is she wants to get rid of the probationary period at the end because she's like,
she wants to be free?
No, she said, as soon as I get out of jail, I'm getting deported. I'm not a citizen. So I'm deported as soon as I get out of jail. Why the fuck am I going to be on probation from China?
Yeah.
So she's basically trying to get that done so she can just be deported and be done at the end of this. Now, so they don't rule on that. Now, 2009, there's a big fluff piece on the prison she's in that they're participating in a Knit for Kids program, it's called.
Oh, boy.
And in that time, the women have shipped 1,061 sweaters to children in need. They're crocheting sweaters at the women's prison. This is how women's prisons are different from men's prisons. There is very rarely a kids' sweater crocheting program at a men's prison because they would just stab each other with the knitting needles and then rape somebody with another one. So
not a lot of refrigerator repair going on in men's prisons being shipped out to single women around the country.
No, not happening at all. No. A lot of transmissions being rebuilt and shipped out
to underprivileged and people that can't afford them.
So the person began the program and was mentoring many women in the system and said being part of a charitable initiative such as the Sweater Project helps to boost their confidence. She said, I think this helps women build self-esteem and feel better about their stay because they're doing something productive.
Okay.
The women...
I thought you meant the sweater builds confidence in an underprivileged child. A murderer made this for me.
This is my charity prison murderer sweater. Huh? Chest out, chin up, right? I'm fucking feeling good about myself right now. This sweater has blood on it. So... But it's nice that the kids get sweaters anyway. Sure. She said the women in here have a desire to give back and do something for children because a lot of them are mothers themselves. Yeah. Now, crocheting was not of interest to inmate Jing Weidao before she came to Baylor, the article goes on to say. After learning from a friend, she said she can now make one full sweater in a day and finds crocheting relaxing.
Okay.
So, I do have to say, there's been, I don't know how to put this.
Yeah.
There's been quite a bit of issue in this country, especially like in garment districts over the years with, Chinese essential slave labor making clothes. So then they put her in prison and say, pump out sweaters, Jing. I don't know.
A day.
I get that it has nothing to do with that, but it's just it's interesting.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
It's pretty wild. And she said it finds it relaxing. She said that... they bring in photos of the grateful children who received the sweaters, which makes all the women think that they're, oh, look at that. There's a happy kid in a sweater. Yeah. She said, quote, that was the sweetest moment, knowing that you did that and it made someone happy. It's for the kids and knowing this is important. Jing said that. It's for the kids over here. It's for the children.
How could she?
What the fuck? It's for the children, you fucking, hey. So, 2013, she wants the sentence reduced again.
Okay.
Court denies that. Then in 2015, she files a motion requesting the court vacate the probationary portion of her sentence, claiming that the terms of her sentence conflict with federal immigration law because her ass is out of here. Yeah, her ass is on a fucking boat the first goddamn second that she's out of prison. Sure, she's getting unhandcuffed right into an on-ramp for a plane. Like, you're out, lady. So she argued that the sentence modification on the grounds that she faces deportation upon release from incarceration and therefore is not a threat to the community because she won't even ever be in the community.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So, it highlighted also her educational advancements while in prison, good behavior, and sweater making, actually, is put in there. I make sweaters for kids, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Likewise, they also reiterate her deportation concerns and highlights her educational behavioral achievements. And she also expresses remorse for her actions.
Okay.
They say, however, remorse and positive behavior while incarcerated are not basis to modify or reduce a sentence that was appropriate at the time of sentencing. The court finds the pending motion repetitive in form and substance and therefore is barred without exception, is what
Don't
the court
bring it
said.
back.
Don't bring that sorry shit on my court, goddammit. Try to come in my lane. Fuck that.
Umboater.
Come in the paint. That's what you get, bitch. That's what they said. Now, there are some crazy comments, by the way.
Really?
on videos
Reddit
and things.
Or whatever? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, on Reddit. Here's a user named, I don't know what this is to that user, so I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Here's some crazy comments. Quote, there was no affair.
What?
No affair.
She said there was.
He said there was. They both said there was, and it was proven out by emails calling him her sexy blue-eyed dad. Sorry, that's Jing P. Wido was a disturbed and delusional person who murdered a woman whose husband was deeply in love with his wife. She was enacting a scene out of a movie, placing herself as the outside party to an affair that never took place. She is delusional, and she imagined it, this person saying.
What movie is that?
I don't know. I'm wondering. I'd love to see it. It sounds interesting.
Is that Hand That Rocks the Cradle? Did they fuck?
I'm sure.
I think they did. I think
fuck yeah.
Why wouldn't you
Come
fuck
on.
Rebecca De Mornay? You'd fuck Rebecca
in
De Mornay.
1989.
I'd fuck her today, James.
She's coming in your room. I don't know about that. Is she? I haven't seen her.
Oh, gee.
I haven't seen her in 35
years. Did you see the
years.
beginning of Wedding Crashers? That's her in the beginning. That very first scene with Dwight Yoakam where they're getting divorced.
That was like 20 years ago, though.
Oh, that's a good point. that was a while ago.
That was closer to Hand That Rocks the Cradle than it is to now. So, or very close to it. So. We don't have any idea.
You're probably right. She might look terrible today. I don't know.
I don't know. She's probably 70 years old. I don't expect her to be a sex symbol. I mean,
we're acting like I look. We're acting like I'd be a reward for her.
We're hideous monsters, both of us. This is what I mean. She wouldn't fuck either of us.
No, God, no.
She would really be right to not, because she's much better than us. That's fine.
I don't know.
I mean, you never know.
Depending on how the last 20 years have gone. I can't believe it's been that long.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
So this person goes on to say, Mary was an outgoing, warm, big-hearted woman who accepted everyone and was totally unaware of Jing's mental condition.
Yeah.
Jing planned the murder based on her own delusions and not on any fact of matter. This all came out at trial. No, it didn't. There was no trial. And B, the whole fucking anything that did come out was she fucked John and was jealous and wanted to kill Mary. That was the whole point. Jing was convicted and is serving a 30-year term without possibility of parole. Not true. And upon her release, will be deported to China, where she is from. She murdered a woman who believed in the goodness of people, a woman who went out of her way to help those in need without question. Get the facts right before you post.
Oh, come on.
No, you get the facts right before you post. Yeah. Jing is a deeply disturbed person, and the affair only took place in her mind, nowhere else. There is literally no one that says this. John doesn't deny the affair.
Yeah.
Jing doesn't deny the affair. People said Mary was suspicious of the affair. Like, they had a fucking affair. They talked about where they fucked and when and in whose car. Like,
right. Why would the I-95 rest stop come up? Like, come on, man.
Give me a break. Here's another person says, I personally know John Anderson and he loved his wife, and there wasn't an affair with Jing except in Jing's mind. Another person.
Another said it.
All of the truth came in. Now, here's what I don't. Maybe this happened because church people. They want to believe in the good of people, and if he's a big church guy, whatever was said legally, because in the interrogation room they know when you're full of shit.
Sure.
He might have went back to the church later though and said, "Oh no, we didn't have an affair. That was all in it," because that way he could have a life and a social life after that. Because otherwise, he would have been shunned from the church probably too, in addition to having a dead wife and no girlfriend, and now he's got nothing.
And you can say anything to a cop. He's probably heard worse, but the parishioners haven't heard worse. Everybody around there's holier than thou.
So, they said that Jing, all the truth came out at trial. Again, no trial. Mm-hmm. Jing created the affair in her head and planned and carried out the murder on a woman who was outstanding, caring, and giving. 350. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. 350 people attended her funeral. Each of them told about how Mary went out of her way to help them. She's a great lady. Yeah. She was a woman who trusted people, and that trust led to her murder. Not any affair or tryst with this monster who made it up. Yeah, this has to be the church people. John and Mary were a married couple in the sense of what marriage was all about. Love, security with each other, and dedication to each other. Jing deserves her punishment of 30 years without parole and deportation to China, who I hope treats her with the total disregard that she had for her victim and Mary's family. And then finally somebody posted, bull. Thank you. John Anderson didn't love anyone but himself. He had the best possible wife, and what did he do? Cheat on her with a woman who killed Mary. There you go. He didn't want the murder to happen, but, he must have known of Jing Weidao's crazed behavior and thoughts. No one could have hidden that type of pathological personality for very long, let alone 8 years. Get real. This was a horrible tragedy.
He found out 30 or 60 does go into 30.
Yeah. Twice on Sunday, baby. Oh, man. So one of the cop, he kind of summed it up perfectly here.
Yeah.
Ultimately, this person who Mary thought was her friend murdered her. That's the sad thing. This has been on multiple of like the TV shows that do salacious shit.
This
but
is
like
fucking
years
juicy.
ago.
Yeah.
The one that I really think is funny because I watched some of it is the Deadly Affairs one. That's the one with Susan Lucci, like making out with the interstitial. She's like making out with a 20-year-old guy all the time and like rubbing his crotch. Yeah, it was called 3 to Tango. It's a season 3, episode 11, and we do a much better job of covering it. After the research, I watched it and I went, well, that gave me nothing. So.
They could have used a math pun there. I don't know. 3 to Tango. That's stupid.
It's very tango with a Chinese. What are we doing? If you're gonna put in things like that, don't do it like that.
No.
I mean, you could. There's a lot of things.
It's 2 to Tango. That's not even a good. It's not even good.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's a dumb fucking title, as a lot of these are. As I know personally from having to do this every week twice,
so hard,
it's
right?
really hard to put titles for the shows are the hardest thing to come up with for me.
Eventually, Deadly Affairs quit doing it.
They just stopped. Fuck it. So there you go. There is Jing and there's everybody. Holy shit. That's a crazy fucking story.
Delaware.
If you like how we tell that story, tell the world about it. You should really get on whatever app you're on. And please give us 5 stars. Say something nice. Doesn't matter what you say, but say something nice. It helps the algorithm. So do that. Right. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets. Live shows September 20th, Minneapolis. Virtual live show, Halloween, available for 2 weeks after that, just like a regular live show, but in your home. Join us. It's a huge party. We can't wait. Don't miss out on that. It's a lot of fun, and people watch it together and comment. It's good shit. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you get all that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. All your bonus material, $5 a month or above. Get in there. This week, what we got is Pud Galvin, the first steroid user for crime and sports. Small town murder, old-timey murders. Fuck yes. Can't wait. Keep doing that. Come back and see us. Follow on social media. Follow on social media there at shutupandgivememurder.com is the website, and then at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Do that. Keep coming back and hanging out with us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.